flag racing time. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, the 6 dance triumph. Oh, it's Charlie Davenport. It's gonna be Alex Fletcher. It's going to be Mike Fink Jr., number 38, winning at Daytona.
Here comes the 19. Trey Wright wins the Indianapolis 200. And he's gonna win his second race here under the lights at Kansas.
A part-time driver's gonna steal it here at Charlotte. Local Williamson will win the Coca-Cola 600.
We are the NIRA.
We are the NIRA.
We are the NIRA.
We are the NIRA.
What's up everyone, it's your boy, and that's Racing 95, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome everyone to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we're here at the Brickyard for the third running of the NIRA, which was Hollywood Stapleton Shootout, the third straight year of doing this, as we pay tribute to my dad, who committed suicide in 2017. I'm alone for this one. I'm joined up in the booth by Josh Williamson.
Thank you for having me here for such a special race here in the NIRA. Hollywood is watching on. He's very proud of you, Nathan. What you've grown to be, and proud to see you're still here, charging on with life. I know it's difficult this year, but you're doing a great job considering the circumstances. I couldn't be more proud to work with you here in this league and here on the call for this race. Meanwhile, here at Indianapolis, folks, we have one here for you at the Yard of Bricks. The 84 is going to lead us off from the pole position. That's Vale Moscow alongside the 01 of Noah Clifton. We'll get the green flag after the one pace lap here in just a little bit.
And this is a big time event, probably one of the big three special events of the NIRA, especially on my side. And if you win this race, then most likely you will be a great driver in the NIRA. We always saw that with Juan Garcia back in 2018. We saw Christian Vargas won this race last year, and it's going to be interesting to see if he will win the third straight year. 3 straight years of doing this event, 3 straight different racetracks, and 3 straight different type of cars. So it's going to be a totally different animal from the previous two years, I should say, and it's going to be a great race here to pay tribute to Richard Hollywood Stapleton. These 42 drivers will get rolling off for the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout, and we are set for a good one for 50 laps of racing at the home of the NIRA and at my home racetrack, the Brickyard, and for the Indy Motor Speedway. Everyone is rolling off, and the top 10 for one of the biggest races on this channel and on this league here today. On the pole is Vale Moscow and Noah Clifton. Row number 2 is the 14 of Travis Cramden and the 54 of Bobby Frazier. Row number 3 is the number 4 of Stephen Cohen and the number 43 of Ethan Farley. Row number 4 we have the number 33 of Jacob Thibodeau and the number 0 of Zachary Thibodeau, I should say. And then rounding out the top 10 is the defending race winner of this event, Christian Russell, the number 18, and alongside him is the number 88 of Eli Bright. 42 cars, 7 drivers made their first time start in the NIRA here today. Josh, who do you think will get the race win after 50 laps?
Of course, we got to rate Christian Vargas, the defending winner of this race, as a factor. But this track can be very difficult to pass on, so you're probably going to want to start up inside the top 5 barring incident with crashes or pit cycles in this race. For the victory of this race, I am going to go with the number 4 there, starting on the inside of row number 3. The 4 of Stephen Colon. I think he's going to wheel the Flex Seal Chevrolet to victory here at the Brickyard.
Not a bad pick. Here at the Brickyard, Val Moscow and Noah Clifton Elias to green. The 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout is green at the Yard of Bricks. A nice and calm first lap here at the Brickyard, and Travis Crampton starting 3rd. He's up to the race lead, and at number 14, and now Josh's race pick, Stephen Cohen, up to 2nd already with Thibodeau and the defending race winner in 3rd and 4th.
I'm going to be completely honest with you there. I did not expect Stephen Colon to move up into the 2nd position as quickly as he did there off the start. Looks like Thibodeau might get to the inside. No, not quite. He doesn't have the run now. But don't look now. Here comes your defending winner, Christian Vargas in the 18, taking a peek on Jacob Thibodeau going through turn 3 and 4.
And just based off of the last 2 years of this event, this is the most driver-dependent racetrack that we've had in this special event, because in 2018 it was the default cup mod at Rookie. That takes almost no skill in this full throttle. Last year it was at Chicagoland in the trucks, and they were going almost full throttle. But this track is already a driver-dependent track in its own right. But when you put these Xfinity Series bodies on these race track, it's gonna be very important to know the way around this racetrack. One of the toughest in the world, and right now Stephen Cohen is taking advantage of that. But he has to keep an eye out for the defending race winner, Christian Vargas, and he's gonna try to get to the inside going into turn number 1.
Christian Vargas getting a heck of a run there on the inside, getting a little bit of help from Travis Crampton. Looks like they're going to leave him out to dry on the outside, and Christian Vargas is going to get the lead. Don't look now, though. Here comes the 44 of Ben Crouch, your Season 1 Cabela's Cup Series champion, and soon-to-be member of Del IROC 1 with the champions and winners of special events. Hey, the winner of this event might just get a spot in Del IROC 1. We'll see how things turn out.
Of course, Del IROC 1 coming in 2021. A lot of big things in 2021, but we still have 3 months to go here in 2020. And right now, everything is clean and green in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout for 2020. But here's the interesting thing. It's 50 laps. This is longer than the Rebel Cup Series race that will happen to start the playoffs in about a month, maybe not even that, maybe just 3 weeks from now. So this is nothing like what these drivers will face in the Rebel Cup Series, but they could learn something for the Cup Series. But this is a long race, 50 laps, probably gonna be 2, maybe even 3 stops if this goes caution free. So it's gonna be very important to get the right strategy to get the race win.
And you see them staying on that inside line there through the corners. That's absolutely the dominant line
around caution is out.
Uh-oh. Oh, big crash.
The 28 of Daisy Johnson making her first start. The 13 of Bronson Minnick is involved. Looks like those were the only 2 cars that were involved. But the first caution of the day And the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout comes out on lap number 6. There might have been one or two more cars that were involved, but those were the main two, Blossom and Daisy Johnson. And look who won the race back to the line. It was none other than the defending race winner of this race, Christian Vargas in the number 18. But now we have to wait and see of who will pit and who will possibly start the early strategy game here in this year's event. Indy is known for strategy with fuel mileage, and it could happen here in this one. But will they gamble this early on lap number 6 at hour 50? We just have to wait and see.
Christian Vargas looks like he's going to lead the field down to pit road as they angle down. We'll see if anybody stays out here. Looking on back, I don't see anyone that's going to stay out, and I'm honestly a little surprised that they would come down this early. But with them coming down here on lap number 6, this is likely going to make this it was already going to be a 2-stop race, but there is the chance that it could be even a 3-stop race now that they're coming down. We'll just have to see how pit strategy works, but now the field coming down, we'll see in just a minute who's going to be the first off, and will lead us to the green flag here on this next restart.
And looks like it's going to be mostly the same strategy for everyone. Full flush good use on these cars, and looks like it's going to be the 43 of Ethan Foley with a great pit stop. He's going to take advantage and will win the race off pit road and be the race leader on this restart. And then the defending race winner, Christian Vargas in second, Bobby Frazier in third. The 4 of Stephen Cohen in fourth. The 44 of Ben Crouch. And then the 84, the 24, the 14, and the 51, and the 85. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Ethan Foley, I think either his first or second start on my channel, but definitely not a NIRA rookie, that's for sure. But he got a great pit stop in that Richard Petty Motorsports number 43, and he will lead the field back to the green on the restart for the first time today. But before we get to the first restart, let's see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day, and the first caution of the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout here at the Brickyard. This is wrapping off with turn number 3 on lap number 5. Daisy Johnson and if I mean I've never said that. I've never said Anthony Gills before, so it's like
might be Giles.
Giles, it might be. I don't think it's Gills.
Looks like it's Giles to me.
Yeah, I think so. Here we go, this wrapping off of turn number 3. Daisy Johnson, development driver to Matt Tuck, went up the racetrack into Anthony Giles. The 7 and the 28 saved it, at least we thought, until Daisy Johnson came back up the racetrack. And unfortunately, Blossom and the number 13 had nowhere to go once Daisy Johnson got into the grass and shot up the racetrack. And this was a big hit. It was such a big hit that the 13 lagged into the wall. But you can just tell all of the damage to both the 28 and the 13. Those cars are junk here at the Brickyard, and unfortunately that's going to take out Blossom and Daisy Johnson, not the way that she wanted in her first ever start in the NIRA here today.
So watch they come in here to the short chute. Daisy Johnson, a wild save through the grass. Bronson Minnick unable to avoid, head on into the outside wall, sliding along with the smoke behind. Amazing that nobody ran into them, but good grief, those are some torn up race cars here.
And some torn up race cars indeed. Unfortunately, not the way that either one of those drivers wanted to have early on in this race. But it ended up being Ethan Foley, who was towards the end of the top 10, got one heck of a pit stop in that number 43 machine, and he will lead us back to the green for the first restart of the day in the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the restart here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome back here at the Brickyard for the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. We will go back running on lap 10 of 50 here at the Brickyard. And we have 39 cars on the racetrack. Daisy Johnson and Bronzeman are obviously out because of that crash. But one thing that we did not know is under this caution was that Noah Clifton, he ended up having a tire go down, shredded the car, and they were not able to fix it, and he is out of the race early on. Not the way that that Noah Clifton wanted here at the Brickyard. So that is a tough break for the Aussie here in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. So 39 cars are left on the racetrack, and the top 5 on the restart will be Ethan Farley, Christian Vargas, Bobby Frazier, Stephen Cohn, and the 44 of Ben Crouch. And Farley will lead us back to the green on lap number 10 of 50 in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout.
Got a good restart there, but Christian Vargas looked like he may have timed it with him near perfectly. How about the 54, Bobby Frazier, trying to get up there in those monster colors. Here comes your defending winner to the inside. Christian Vargas is going to go to the lead here, the Rick Hollywood Stapleton Shootout.
Vargas, he is trying to prove that last year it was not a fluke, and that he can still go back-to-back in this event. No one's gone back-to-back yet, and this is honestly the true test for these drivers in this event, because it changes every single year. The car type changes, the track type changes, and if he can go 2 in a row, that would be something. But he is trying to hold off Ethan Farley, who has never raced on my side of the NIRA, but I know he's raced a lot on your side of the NIRA. So it's going to be interesting of how he can do in his first start on my end here today. But he is in a Joe Gibbs Racing sandwich, and 2 very talented drivers in the NIRA, Bobby Frazier and Christian Vargas.
Vargas is trying to pull away from the 43 of Farley there. He's in that clean air. That's all he needs. But the 43 also, while he's in dirty air, he's got the draft. And these particular chassis here, I don't believe have aero as much of an issue to them. These are just about spec. All the noses are flat, so they don't have to worry about anything holding them up here. But here comes a big run with Bobby Frazier in the 54 down to the inside of Ethan Farley, and he's gonna get the lead. Oh, here comes the 4 as well, Stephen Cologne. And how about also the 84 going to the inside? He's gonna move into the 4th position there on the inside of Ethan Farley.
Val Moscow, the poster, moving his way back up to the front and inside the top 4, and Ben Crouch moving his way up to the front as well. Same with the 24 of Keegan Thompson, the 33 of Jacob Thibodeau, the 85 of Angel O'Vea moving up front as well, the 51 of Nick Kennedy, and the 90 of Wet Rogers, another development driver to Christian Russell, and another first timer in this event. And speaking of first timers, the guy that was partially involved in the first crash, Anthony Giles, he's moving up into the 13th position here at the Brickyard. And speaking of 13, we are only on lap 13 of 50, a long way to go in this race. And right now the defending winner is out front and leading the field at the Brickyard.
But don't look now, here comes the 4 behind. And try to draft up to your leader in the 18, Christian Vargas. He's going to be right there in the draft going down the long straightaway. This is the fastest part of the racetrack right here. They go off the fastest into turn number 1, but Christian Vargas obviously going to hold on to the lead, just not close enough behind for the 4 of Stephen Cologne to make a move. And how about the 84 of Vale Moscow, working his way up into the 3rd position there. Going to go for 2nd, and don't look now. Here comes the 44 of Ben Crouch behind the 54 of Bobby Frazier. Going to go for the 4th position. Might pop out going into turn 3. And I don't think he's going to be close enough for that. But The front six definitely tightening up here. While single file, this is a lot of close racing. It's just all a matter of when somebody's going to make a move. You can't really do it through the corners. You can definitely do it here on the straightaway, so we'll see what happens.
Very true, and just a random fun fact, second through 6 have a 4 in it. The 4, the 84, the 54, the 44, and the 24. Just a random fact that I wanted to make there, but meanwhile, battle for second and for fourth, the 84 and the 44 will take those positions, and Ben Crouch might be able to get to the inside of Stephen Cullen, but not quite. He's going to stay in fourth, and because of that side-by-side battle for second, that allowed Christian Vargas to gain on his gap ever so slightly, even a little bit more.
Real Moscow will move into the second position, but there through 4, he took a little higher line there than Christian Vargas and Stephen Cologne did. Look for Cologne to pop out going down the front straightaway. There he goes to the inside. Christian Vargas is going to be right there to block if need be. I don't think he's going to have to worry about that. Cologne's just not close. Oh, did he touch Vail Moscow going off into turn 1? He's going to bull his way by into the second position. And now here comes the 44 as well of Ben Crouch and the 24 of Keegan Thompson. Don't look now. Here comes the 54 of Bobby Frazier. They're freight training Vail Moscow on the inside down the back straightaway at Indianapolis.
And that is the bad thing about Indy. Besides maybe 3 and 4, you can sometimes get a 1, but in 1 and 2, it is all the inside lane. And oh boy, almost 3 wide, but they're going to fan it back down. And sometimes they can get a 1 off with turn number 4, but that's not going to happen for Val Moscow. He's going to remain in a side-by-side battle for what looks to be the 5th position. And he's going to lose that position to Bobby Frazier. Not quite still side-by-side, but now the bit of an aggressive move. I thought he was going to make it 3 wide through the middle. He was able to get to the inside lane, and he is going to continue the freight train that is happening to the A4, but Foley is going to let him in. And meanwhile, because of all that battling for 5th place, the top 4 have absolutely pulled away from the rest of the field. Vargas, Cohen, Crouch, and Thompson.
I don't believe the battling back there for 5th is quite done yet. That's Jacob Thibodeau going around the 54 of Bobby Frazier there for the 5th position. They're still side by side behind, but the more they're side by side, they're not in the draft, and that's killing their momentum, the side force there on these cars. They need to get straightened out to get back up to the front. Otherwise, unless they get a caution here or get some radical pit strategy when we get to the next cycle, it's over for them.
And who knows, we could see a caution at any given moment. We were not expecting it to happen when it happened early on, and it could very well happen at any given moment. And at any given moment, but what can also happen is a lead change here at the Brickyard. Cohen trying to take the race leeway, but Vargas tried getting one on the top side off to number 4, but it's not going to work. New race leader in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout, Stephen Cohen, but that might not last for long, because now Ben Crouch is going to go for the race lead.
Crouch knows how to go up and win the race here at any track he goes to. We saw him win in the Krispy Kreme series, most notably at Pocono, and then we saw him, you know, he won the championship in the Cabela's Cup Series in season number 1, didn't win a race. He went down to the Scots Grand National Series, won at Talladega just a couple weeks ago on the high banks of the trial circuit. So he knows how to get up there and get a race done, but Keegan Thompson, he plays rough. He plays very rough when he goes and battles for the lead, and saw it right there. He got all over the backside of Ben Crouch, but couldn't beat him back to the gas and couldn't get to the inside, and Crouch is going to pull away down the front straightaway.
For Keegan Thompson, he has not had that much luck this season in the NIRA. He missed out on the Rebel Cup Series, and he was able to get a ride in the Power Truck Series, but he's not really had a good season. I don't think it's entirely his fault. GMS Racing as a whole has not been that good, but still, I think we sometimes see of how much talent Keegan Thompson has in the NIRA and as a whole. And who knows, if he can win this race, he could get that first NIRA career win, and he wants that right now. Sends it into turn number 1.
Looks like he might get the position there, and the help's going to go down to the bottom. They're going to leave Ben Crouch out to dry. Christian Vargas going to move into the second position. Will he be able to pop to the inside? Doesn't look like it just yet. Keegan Thompson's going to stay there on the low line. Look at the field getting crazy, way deep in the field back there, though mostly single filed out. It looks like they're getting 2 and 3 wide at the tail end of things. Now Christian Vargas working into the second position. How about Steven Colonna? Big run there into the third position. Jacob
pit stops.
Oh, pit cycles.
On lap number 21, about 15-16 laps from when these guys pitted under caution. And that is going to tell the sign for the rest of this race, about 16 laps on fuel. And if that is the case, then we could see a fuel mileage race to the end if this stays green for the rest of the way. And this could easily shake up how the field runs after the first round of green flag pit stops and the second round of pit stops of the race. But Keegan Thompson out front. Will he pit this time by, or will he stay out almost third lap? And looks like he's gonna stay out.
I'm not sure we're gonna have someone not come in. There's a couple coming in right there. That looks like the 74 of Owen Miles and the 11 as well, going down onto the pit road. Looks like they'll be the only takers this time, so a bunch of cars still out there that have not come down, but you know, this is going to be really close getting to the end. You said 15-16 laps is the run, but we're right at 27 laps to go with those cars having just come down. So that was about 28-29 laps to go. They could probably split this race even, but you know, depending on how they use their stuff and depending on how hard they drive it, that's going to decide if they will be able to make it to the end or not.
And more takers onto pit road this time by. But the first ones to stay out are the 84, the 51, the 88, the 14, the number 0 of Zachary Guerrero, the 70 of Ethan Lewis making his first start. So a handful of drivers still staying out even after about 3 or 4 laps when this pit cycle started. And if this ends up being the case, then we could see fuel mileage at the end of this race where some people can't make it, but some people can make it. And if that does happen, then we are in for a treat late in the going. But will these guys pit? And it looks like they will. Val Moscow is going to pit. Same with the 51 of Nick Kennedy, Eli Bright, Travis Crampton, Zachary Guerrero, Ethan Lewis. And I believe that's going to cycle out because the first ones that pitted was the 54. So that's going to be it for the pit cycle here for the first round of green flag pit stops. But it's going to be interesting to see if who cycles out as the race leader.
And of course, the guys that came around that time are just getting their lap back, but it takes a long time to get down the pit road and get your pit stop done. It takes about a lap. So that's enough time for them to get back around and potentially take the lead. We'll have to see who has the biggest advantage here. Maybe it is the 24 of Keegan Thompson, who got out in front of the 18 of Christian Vargas there. And he's got a pretty healthy gap there and an even bigger gap back to Ben Crouch in the 44. So we'll see what happens here when the field gets shuffled out. It looks like these guys are coming off right now, so it's going to be close coming off that second turn.
It's going to be fairly close. There they are right now. And coming off of turn number 2, it looks like it will easily be the 24 of Keegan Thompson winning the race off of pit road. And, so it is going to be Keegan Thompson versus the defending winner and quite possibly the best car of the day right now, Christian Vargas, the top 2. Ben Crouch in 3rd. Stephen Cohen in 4th. Anthony Giles in 5th, making his first start with a great pit stop. The 51 of Nick Kennedy. The 33 of Jacob Thibodeau. The 84 of Val Moscow is going to be in 8th position. The 52 of Quinton Moore now will be in 8th as the 84 gets trapped on the top side. Rogers up inside the top 10. So a lot of drivers that we haven't really seen up front yet are moving their way up to the front because of pit stops. And meanwhile, battle for the race lead between Keegan Thompson and Christian Vargas for the race lead. Can Keegan Thompson get a 1? And he actually got a good one off of turn number 3. I'm actually really surprised about that. Normally they get a good one off of turn number 4, but Thompson with a heck of a one off of turn number 3. He's going to keep the race lead.
It even looked like Christian Vargas may have stumbled a bit coming off turn number 3. He could have gotten a little sideways there and killed his momentum there on the inside, whatever it was. Gave all the momentum to Keegan Thompson, but gonna have another shot here going down the back straightaway. You see him peek into the inside once again off the second turn, and he's gonna have a better chance this time. He's already there down low.
Vargas, by far the fastest car on the racetrack, but he is having a tough time getting around Keegan Thompson in the number 24. Can he get a good one off of turn number 3? No, he can't. But what about turn number 4? No, he can't. Can he? Still side by side off of turn number 4. But I believe going into turn number 1, it's gonna be the 18 of Vargas. Thompson actually will leave that lap, but he's not gonna have the race lead for much longer going into turn number 1. And there it is. Vargas blasts by Keegan Thompson and takes back the race lead past halfway in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. And something must have happened to the 43 of Ethan Farley, because he is currently 3 laps down. So that's a tough break for Farley, who got a great pit stop the first time, was running inside the top 10 all race long, and unfortunately he's not going to have the outing that he wanted here at the Brickyard. But he might even go a 4th lap down. I don't know what happened to him, if he made contact on pit road or if it was a tire problem or what. But that was a tough break for Ethan Farley in the number 43. No one is out from the from pit stops, which is a good thing. 38 cars on the lead lap, and the last one on the lead lap is the number 19, Brandon Nelson, making his first start in the NIRA. Not the way that he wanted here in this one, but who knows, we could easily see a caution at any given moment. Still a long way to go at the line, 21 laps to go here in this one.
And of course, if Brock Nelson wanted the caution to come out, he wouldn't want it necessarily to come out right now, because we're not in the fuel window to make it to the end here. And they're going to have to make one more stop within 15 to 16 laps. Of course, that was the run. That's just enough to make it. You're going to want to pit a couple laps later when the window does open, just to ensure that you have enough, because you are driving, you are just driving around this track full throttle all the way down the straightaway, and this is a long straightaway right here. But the heavy braking zone's off into the corners as we see Keegan Thompson go to the inside. I believe he's going to have the run here going off into 3, but we saw it work on the outside for him last time. We'll see what happens here on the down low. They're going to be side by side down the front straightaway, or are they? Thompson clears him easily going through turn 4.
These two just keep on going back and forth for this race lead. But because of that, this pack of Stephen Cohen, Jacob Thibodeau, Ben Crouch, Rogers, the 51, the 84, the 7, the 54, the 74, the 52, and the 1 are all moving their way up towards the front. And if these guys can go single file and the top 2 keep on battling for the race lead, they can easily have a shot at the race win late in the going. But Still a long way to go. 20 laps to go. 19 to go at the line. Only one caution that came out on lap number 5, and we have been clean and green ever since in the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout.
It's been clean and green, but golly, has this been a good one so far. It's definitely going to come down to strategy, though, unless a couple of guys like Keegan Thompson or Christian Vargas, for example, come off the pit road 1 and 2. Even we might throw a third car in
Oh,
there.
the caution's out.
Like the caution comes out, and that
Oh.
changes everything. Oh, big pile up front straightaway. My goodness.
Zachary Doletto is torn up. Multiple drivers. The number 3 is torn up. That's Nathan Faden. The number 84 of Vale Moscow. We were just talking about him moving his way up to the field, and he's torn up. The 88 of Eli Bright is destroyed. And this changes everything here at the Brickyard. And something that just happened to the 22. I think he might just went kaboom. The 55 was torn up in this one. Chaos here at the Brickyard. The 15 as well. The 70. Something tells me that the big one might have striked down the front stretch. And here's the thing, that came out on lap 32 to lap 33. It's about 16 to 18 laps on fuel. They could make it, but they could not make it. So this is going to get really interesting here at the Brickyard. We could end up seeing a fuel strategy to the end. And it was Keegan Thompson that won the race back to the line. I would assume that everyone would pit here under the second caution of the day, since they are in, well, not really in, but since they are right on the bubble of making it to the end. A massive pile up down the front stretch, and that is the worst place to have a pile up with how narrow it is. So that is going to be an interesting replay to see. But I bet about $50 that everyone will pit here. And if they don't, then I will be shocked. And it looks like everyone will be pitting here on lap number 33 with 18 laps to go, right in the fuel window. And this could very well be interesting here in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. Let's see who will win the race off of pit road for the second time today.
Everyone get the mileage calculators out. This is going to be good to see who comes off the pit road here. And this may not be the race. Just remember, there's going to be some guys or gals that try to save. But this is not going to be to the end here. It looks like Keegan may have just taken fuel there. Or maybe 2 tires in fuel. He's going to come off way ahead of everyone else. How about the 4 of Stephen Colon as well? The 44 of Ben Crouch. The 90 and the 33 going to round out the top 5. And the 7, 18 alongside the 25, I think that was. And a lot of close calls there coming off of pit road. It's a very narrow pit road. You saw them get side by side there. That is sketchy, but they made it work, though. Good on them.
A very tight pit road, one of the tighter pit roads in the NIRA and in NASCAR. And that'll leave it be the number 24 of Keegan Thompson as the race leader, and Stephen Colon up to second. And oh boy, the guy that was in second is now going to be, I believe, in 7th position on this restart. So this is going to be a 2 test for the defending champ if he, well, the defending champ of this race and the fastest car of the race if he can move his way from 7th to the race lead. But before we go back, let's see if what on earth happened to bring out the second caution of the day in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout and for the 2020 edition of this tribute race here at the Brickyard and for and on the NIRA channel. Here we go. This happened down the front stretch. They teased 3 wide, but they ended up failing back down. Bobby Frazier got into the 84 of Val Moscow and shot back up the racetrack into Owen Miles. And nowhere to go for Quentin Moore. The number 1 of Brandon Nelson just squeaked by. but then nowhere to go for Zach Winkle, nowhere to go for Eli Bright, and then nowhere to go for Mitchell Collins, Madison Tall. Travis Crampton just gets, nope, he got a piece of it. I thought he would have made it. The 3 of Nathan Faden with a big hit. And then they stacked up behind him with, I believe that's the 0 of Deletto into the 70. And just a stack up effect with the 55, the 15, the 89. Pretty much the big one down the back stretch, the front stretch, I should say, at the Brickyard. And that is the worst place to have a big one strike with hardly any room to get by. And unfortunately, about 10-15 cars are torn up here in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. The big one straight down the front stretch at the Brickyard.
So here they're coming off turn number 4. Bam! Right there. Bobby Frazier into the back of the 84 of Vale Moscow. And behind, Calamity strikes. There's Mitchell Collins. Madison Toll getting a little piece there, just getting through. Travis Crampton, the 14. The 15 eating the back of the 55 there. I'm surprised you can even see out of that car. There's Travis Crampton down there. Doesn't look too bad there. He might just be able to go on in that number 14, but not going to be the same said for a lot of these other guys. A lot of them going to be out of this race for sure after that major pileup.
Here's another angle from this big-time pileup. Eli Bright took the biggest hits out of this one, almost tipped over. And then just major calamity with a stack up and just a massive pile up down the front stretch. Tons of smoke, tons of carnage, and tons of torn up race cars here at the Brickyard with 18 laps to go. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the restart here at the Brickyard with Keegan Thompson leading the field back to the green. Welcome back here at the Brickyard for the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. We will go back green with 14 laps to go here in this edition of this tribute race. It's going to be interesting on fuel mileage and of how these slow cars will come into a factor. The cars that are out from that crash are the 55, the 3, the 22, the 88, the 84, the 15, and the 0. The 6 and the 43 are 1 and 3 laps down. 30 cars on the lead lap, and then Stephen Thompson, Keegan Thompson, Stephen Colon, Ben Crouch, Wet Rogers, and Jacob Thibodeau back to the green. And oh my goodness, the 6 of Zach Winkle is so freaking slow. I'm surprised he's even still out there, but luckily I think most of these guys, most of them are going to be able to get by, besides a couple of these guys in about 20th or so. But oh boy,
Farley's got race level speed there. If he was just on the lead lap, he'd be in contention to go battle for the win. But Zach Winkle, get out of the way, dude. What are you doing? You're holding up your teammate, for goodness sakes, there on the inside. As looks like 16 of Bradley Ream is going to get by there in front of the 9 of John Andrews. Still really tight there coming off turn number 4. But 51 getting sideways there going down the front straightaway. Nick Kennedy, my goodness. The 3-time winner over in the Cabela's Cup Series getting a little squirrely there behind the number 6. He's probably about fed up with this now. Just like him to get out of the way. They're all slipping back big time, so eventually someone's gonna have to do something to get out of the way here.
Here's the thing, Zach Winkle's only going 180, and these guys going like 193, so he's going 13 miles an hour slower than the rest of these guys in a path they're probably going close to 200, so he is really off the path and really off the pace. But I think they should be a-okay, but that has really split out the field. And meanwhile, it is the first time Wet Rogers out front in the number 90, and remember when I said that Vargas was restarting in 7th or 8th position? He's all the way back up to 3rd, so he obviously has the fastest car here today at the Brickyard. But one guy that's been really fast, always strong, and could have a shot at stealing this one is Stephen Cohen in the number 4. But he has the 7 of Anthony Giles, the 25 of Darian Arnsdorf, who we haven't seen all day, the 89 of Benny Watson, we haven't seen him up front at all. He's the 9th, the 43 who should be in 10th, but something happened during the pit stops. He is 10th in line, but still not up to speed. 8th is Jacob Thibodeau. 9th is Brady Mujest, and then running out the top 10 is Brandon Nelson. Keegan Thompson has fallen outside of the top 10 now after restarting out front. So that's going to be interesting if he can make his way back up to the front. Quentin Moore, Bradley Weem, the 85 of Angel Ovale also making their way up to the front. But time is running out. Only 10 laps to go this time by. And what can I say about this guy? I go through the top 10 and now he's back out front. Christian Vargas, the defending race winner, back out front with 10 laps to go at the Brickyard. No one can stop this guy, can he?
You can't stop him over in the Scats Grand National Series either. He wrecked out at the New Jersey Motor Speedway early on, came right back and got a top 10 finish at Trenton Fairgrounds Speedway. So this guy's got the racing all figured out, leading the standings over there, albeit only by 11 points, but that just doesn't come close to how dominant he's been over there, and looks like he may be on track to at least have a chance of getting the victory here. But don't look now, here comes Ben Crouch going for his 4th career NIRA win here in the Hollywood Stapleton Shootout.
And that would be huge for him. But meanwhile, there's some drivers right behind him trying to get the first career win. Stephen Cohen, Darian Arnsdorf, and then Benny Watson, I believe, is either tied or is right up there with 6 or 7 wins in the IOA. Benny Watson, he would love to get yet another one here today, and he could have a pretty good shot at doing that here with coming to 8 laps to go. But if anyone wants to get this race win, they have to go through and maybe even do the dump and one to the 18 of Vargas. He is the class of the field. But who knows, we've seen crazier things happen at the Brickyard, and who knows, these guys might not be able to make it based off of when the caution happens. So a lot of different shenanigans and scenarios late in the going. Stephen Cohen moving his way up to 2nd, and now Darian Arnsdorf up to 3rd.
Yeah, the 89 of Benny Watson there, you see him sitting in the 5th position, getting a mirror full of lap traffic there of Ethan Farley. He is going for win number 7 here in the NIRA. He just pulled up the spreadsheet right here in my phone on my hand. He's there in the 5th position, trying to work his way up there. He's got drafting help from Farley and Thibodeau. The question is, will they stay behind him or will they pull out? Because Farley, you know, he's a lap down right now, but he's in a race of his own. He's not going to have time to get back on the lead lap, so I don't know why he would pull out. Maybe he'd just get out of the way of Jacob Thibodeau, but Thibodeau doesn't really look like he's getting very much momentum there, as we see Darren Arnsdorf going to the inside of Stephen Cologne for the 2nd position, and with them being side by side, look at the massive gap that is opened up for Christian Vargas up front. As we come to 6 laps to go this time, that is almost insurmountable, that gap there, but if they stayed singled out, they could definitely get up there. Benny Watson going up to the 4th position. He might just have a shot at career win number 7 here in the NIRA.
Benny Watson, one of the best drivers in this freaking league. I don't know why, but no matter what, no one can stop this guy. And he might have a shot at game win number 7, but if anyone wants to have a shot at getting this race win, they have to gain almost a 7/10 of a second gap on Christian Vargas within 6 laps and pass them for the race lead. That should be possible if these guys stay side by side. But if they battle for second on bat, then that will really hurt them and possibly take them out of the winning in this race victory. But this has been an amazing race. 45 laps down at the line, and we have 5 laps to go in the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout here at the Brickyard.
Looks like they're getting in the line behind. They may just have a chance to close the gap here. How about Ben Crouch going to go to the inside? This is a good place to do it, going off into turn 1. He's going to have the best of momentum he could possibly get going off in that turn. Darren Ornsdorf, there's just no outside line there going through turn. Oh, 3 wide, Darren Ornsdorf.
And oh no, there they go.
Trouble. Oh, big crash.
And oh my god.
Oh, another huge pile up.
That might just end the race. I'm not entirely sure, but if that does end the race, that might just give the race win once again to Christian Vargas. The first time we saw 3 wide actually happen was off of turn number 2, the trouble spot for 3 wide. And if these guys cannot fix the racetrack, this could just ended the race, and Christian Vargas might go back to back in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. But oh my god, what a terrible accident. In turn number 2, the 26, the 54, 74, the 70 again involved. The Keegan Thompson is destroyed. Of course, we saw Benny Watson fly in the air. The 25 fly in the air. Oh my god, so many heartbreaks in that crash alone. And oh man, this might have just ended the race. I'm not entirely sure. I'm hoping that it might be a 1-lap dash, but I don't think it will be. It's about 4 laps for a caution period. So that might have just ended the race. We don't really know for certain. But that was a massive crash. Off of turn number 2. 25 got into the catch fence, went upside down, and then got hit again and went upside down once again. Thank God this is a video game. I keep on saying that, but I'm gonna keep on saying it until I stop doing this. Thank God this is just a video game. But a heartbreaker for all 3 of those guys. Ben Watson, Arnsdorf, and I believe someone else bowing inside the top 5 for the race win. And they end up getting a total race car and in the garage and done for the day just 4 laps early. No one should pit besides them having damage. So let's go ahead and see if what happened to bring out the 3rd caution of the day in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout and for the 2020 edition of this race. Here we go, this happened to bring out the 3rd and final caution. They were going to go double file until Ethan Foley, who's 3 laps down, makes it 3 wide in turn number 2, and he sent it into Benny Watson. This never works well in turn number 2, and it did not work well right here. Up the racetrack they went. Benny Watson upside down slid on his roof, and then Arnsdorf into the outside wall and into the catch fence. And that is not it. And then T-Bone, Brandon Nelson T-boned the 25 and went upside down and flipping and barrel rolling. And then Benny Watson and the Arnsdorf also went upside down. And then a couple more cars went involved. Keegan Thompson on the 26 of Ben Young. Nowhere to go but T-bone Benny Watson. On the 20 of Chris Reynolds was involved. The other Aussie, Zachary Fitzwater, was involved. Bobby Fraser. And then the 70 was involved in the 2nd crash today. And just a massive crash here at the Brickyard. Unfortunately, this might end the race early, but what a massive crash. That could have been avoided. And oh, and then the 74 of Owen Miles ran into the back of the 70 and the 26. So that's a heartbreaker right there for him as well. but just a massive crash here at the Brickyard for the 2020, which is Hollywood Stapleton Shootout.
Here they're going through the short chute. Farley goes to the inside of Watson and Arnsdorf. Bam! Right in the outside. Arnsdorf into the fence. Watson slides. His hopes and dreams crushed like his car, but it's not done getting crushed yet. Boom! Here comes Ben Young. And just smoke and debris and crushed dreams everywhere. Good grief. And 74. Not sure there wasn't any fluid maybe that he didn't just get into there.
Just a tough break for all of those guys involved. A massive pileup and a massive crash. But meanwhile, it was the number 18 of Christian Vargas who won the race back to the line. And who knows, might have just won the whole shebang. And might have just gone 2 years in a row here in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. But let's go ahead and see if he did win the race, or if there will be a one-lap shootout to end this thing here at Indianapolis for the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. Welcome back here at the Brickyard for the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. And unfortunately, we will not go back green in this one. And Christian Vargas, who drove the 18 last season in the truck and won at Chicagoland out of nowhere, he proved that last year was not a fluke. And Christian Vargas is going to go back to back here at in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. This time in as Finley called at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And as long as no shenanigans happen off of turn number 4, he's gonna do it here at the Brickyard. And just a massive crash in the race, but honestly, the guy that is gonna win this race honestly deserved it. He was the fastest car all race long. He was the Toyota to beat, the car to beat. And coming across the line, last year he won it in the number 18 for KBM, and this year he's gonna win in the number 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing. Christian Vargas will win the 2020 Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout.
Excellent drive for your defending winner to go 2 in a row. You're at Ricky Speedway before, now we're here at Indianapolis. He's gonna get it done in the Eris number 18. But Ben Crouch, excellent run for him. I'm going to wind up in second. Jacob Thibodeau third. And the 4 of Stephen Colon going to finish 4th. And how about Rhett Reynolds there in the 90, coming home in his first career NIRA start in the 5th position. That's got to be a good feeling for him. He's got to be thinking, man, I feel like I just won this thing. I'm as happy as I can be. Found a good driver there in that 90 car for this race.
And there was a lot of good drivers. The whole field had good drivers. But unfortunately, that was just the name of the game. And unfortunately, a bunch of race cars were torn up in this one. 24 finished this race. 23 of them finished on the lead lap. And then, as you can see, so many cars torn up. 25th all the way back to 42nd. But Christian Vargas back-to-back in the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shootout. And he's going to get a reserve for the 2021 edition of this race next year. So he's going to get a reserve for the for the second straight year of this event. Ben Crouch also close second. Jacob Thibodeau in third. Stephen Cohen in fourth. Rhett Rogers in fifth. The highest first-time driver. Brady Udrest in sixth. Anthony Giles is in seventh, the second highest first timer. John Andrews out of nowhere in eighth. Angel Ovella in ninth, and DJ Reed in 10th. Bradley Freeman in 11th. Brock Nelson in 12th. Warren 13th. Scott in 14th. Logan Williams in 15th. Matthew Paul 16th. Brampton in 17th. Reynolds in 18th. Slidell in 19th. 20th. John Stewart in his first start. He gets 21st. Becky Fitzwater second.
gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Yesterday is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be.
Will
I fall? Legends made when faith is strong. No time to play. I'm conquering. This is the pain of it for the prize. Some people wanna turn and run, but the strong rise under the gun. Top to the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top, ain't never gonna stop.
What that I don't think that was a calling that was calling everything.
Yesterday is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be. Every day I fight to be.
Not only my food, but cloud.
Wings are made to fly, made to fly. Fears are born to die, born to die. Pushing through the pain, through the pain. Pushing through, breaking through, whatever it takes, what I gotta do. Giving my all, giving all that I got. Never will stop till I get to the top. To the top, ain't never gonna stop. To the top, to the top. Ain't never gonna stop. Never gonna keep me down. Still the one that's standing now. Yesterday is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be.
That's beside the point.
Never gonna keep me down.
Back.
Still the one that's standing now. Yesterday is calling me. Go down in history. Every day I fight to be.
Once again, glad make sure to follow the funky situation win. Josh Williamson, up in the booth, and wish Lego and Pitcher. Josh Williamson, I'm an Racing 95, aka. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.